So in this experiment here, we're going to use the logo we created in Illustrator, and then we're going to put it into Adobe Animate and make it move. Okay, so what you're going to do first is obviously open up Illustrator and open up your logo, and then use this black arrow here to select your logo, and then simply copy it. So I'm going to go edit copy from here so you can see it up in the menu what I'm doing if you have your volume turned off. And then I'm going to go into Adobe Animate. I had a different file open, so in Animate now I'm going to go File, New, and we're going to go ahead and select, Stay at Character Animation, and it's going to be using ActionScript 3. So even though you probably will code in JavaScript some days or C# if you're making like mobile games in Unity, for example, you won't be using ActionScript 3, but the idea is that the concepts are the same when you type code. So it's a good starting point to go ahead and learn this, and then the concepts are similar in every coding language. So first we have a layer here, right, in Animate. You should be familiar with that by now. And you're going to go Edit and Paste. We're going to paste, let's just put it right in the center, and our logo should come in. And I'm going to go ahead and just hit we're going to uncheck maintain layers. And let's just go with paste as bitmap. That'll put it all, create it as one just solid image, right? And we can move it to wherever we want. Now, what we want to do now is, you'll see in this library, we're going to add something here, and we won't really have to do anything other than this. You're going to have your logo selected, and you're going to go Modify, Convert to Symbol, okay? And that's going to convert this to a symbol, and it'll appear in your library, and you want to keep it as a movie clip, and we can call this logo here if you want, and hit OK. Now, you'll see in the library it's added that in there. But in the properties window here, you have to have this properties window, and if you somehow have your properties window, if it's missing or if it's closed, you could find the window up here, Window Properties. That opens this one up, and you want to make sure you're in Properties, and you'll see that the movie clip doesn't have an instance name. So we could have a bunch of these all over the stage, and we could give them individual names. So we're going to name this guy right now. We're going to name this guy, we'll call him, because I don't want to confuse you and write logo right there. Let's call this thing Target. And I'm going to put it lowercase. Okay, it's called Target because we're going to click this thing. Okay, so I put my little, you can name it whatever you want, but in code you better make sure you know exactly what you've labeled it right here in Properties. Okay, so you'll see what I mean in a second. So we're going to come down here into the timeline and add a new layer. Let's double click that layer and label it Actions, because this is where we're going to write our code. And then when you click in this first frame, you can go Window, Actions, and you'll see this like coding area pop up. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, let me show you something real quick. We're going to click in this frame here, and we're going to go Control or right click, and we're going to insert a blank keyframe. Now, if I push Control Test and just test our movie, it's going to be blinking because it's going to go from frame 1, frame 2, frame 1, frame 2. It's just going to keep repeating in a loop. So in this first frame right here, we are going to add some actions, and the first thing we're going to do is tell it to stop. Okay? And then you have to put, parentheses, and then a semicolon. So stop, and then parentheses. And you are then, when you go Control Test, and pretty soon I'm just going to push Command Return on my screen. So if you see this window pop up, you know what happened. And now it freezes on frame 1 because it said to stop right there in the code. Okay, now let's make the logo move across the screen. Okay, so we're going to create a variable, and we're going to call this variable speed. Okay, and we're going to set the speed to, let's just make it 10. That's a good round number. And then here, to make the this area called the stage, to make it actually execute code, we're going to add an event listener. So you have to type everything exactly correct. Capital letters where they're appropriate and lowercase when it's appropriate. And we're going to write event dot enter frame. And you could see that this is all uppercase. I'm putting a comma here, and we're going to say move target. And then at the end, we put a little semicolon. And now this move target is going to be the name of a function that we're creating. And we're going to write that function now. So we're going to say function move target. And we have to refer to the, whoops, I keep doing the wrong thing. We're going to say event, and we have to write capital event. And then outside of the parentheses, we write void and an open curly bracket. And I will copy it and paste it. I will take a screenshot of this code and I'll put it into the canvas so you can zoom in on it. And now this is where we made that instance name, and we're going to refer to target, and we're say target.x plus equals speed. So what this is telling our game, if we're going to call this a game, it's going to tell the target its x coordinate get increased by this variable called speed, and we say it's 10, so 10 pixels. Every single frame, every time this movie enters a frame, and we're going at 12 frames per second, it's going to move across the stage. So let's go control test. And there you go. You have it. Your logo will be moving across the screen. And nothing happens to it yet, but that's a great start, right? So let's get it to now, once it gets past the side of the stage, we can reset it all the way to the left. Okay, so if we say if target dot x is greater than, and we could pick a number. I think this is like 1024. I'm gonna put it at like 600, so it happens a little quicker. So if its x coordinate gets past 600, then we are going to put a curly bracket. We're going to reset it to the left, which is we're going to set it at 0. Target dot x equals 0. So let me explain that. If the target's x coordinate gets past 600 pixels, then we're going to set it all the way back to the left, which is 0. This edge here is 0. So let's push control. I'm going to put command return. And so when it gets past 600, which is probably around here somewhere, it goes back to the left. Okay, and I could now, let's say that's going way too slow for us. I'm going to double the speed. I'm going to make it 20. I'm going to make it go a little further to like 1,200. And now I can control test. And so it's going twice as fast, and it has to go twice as far now. And there we have it. Okay, so why don't you just work on that, and then in the next tutorial we'll make something happen when we click the logo. Okay, so go ahead and have fun moving your logo. Have fun.